He looked at me maliciously. And barked! And I was against the wall. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Last week, for those who missed it, I narrated the first part of the legendary tale of Arnav, a fictitious character based on my mother's real-life dog, Bruno. Last week, I covered the first half of his life, his adoption by my grandfather, his relationship with my mother, and my mother's subsequent move to Kolkata after she got married. This week is about the second half of his life, where I come in. My memories of Arnav are a little scarce. Like water in a desert, they disappear quickly, and I have to dig deep to find them. Nevertheless, whenever I did interact with Arnav, he made me feel bad and weak. I'll come back to that. I went to Chennai, which is my nani body. I went back to Chennai only during my school summer vacations as a young child, and I had great memories there. But Arnav was a sore point for me. Here's the thing about Arnav, right? I was a small child at that time, and by that time he was a huge Alsatian dog, otherwise known as German Shepherds. For those of you who know about dog breeds, you know that German Shepherds are huge dogs. Right? I loved going to Chennai because all my relatives were really cool. I loved meeting everyone, but I hated Arnav. He would incessantly bark at me, stare a hole through me, and sometimes just chase me away. We were like oil and water. I remember this very specific instance where I was once playing near his kennel area, and he suddenly looked at me. He suddenly looked at me and stared at me fiercely, fangs bared, and then barked at me, and I was scared and I backed against the wall, and then I ran into the nearby kitchen area to escape him. Arnav was a fierce, intelligent, and experienced dog. Always wary of guests, always vigilant. My mother told me this one story about him, where he would always bark at this friend of my grandfather's, his business associate, whenever that business associate came home. They tried everything to get him acquainted with the dog. You know, they gave him the scent, they had him pet him, but nothing worked. Arnav always barked at this guest. Turns out, years later it was discovered that this person was a fraud and he was embezzling money from my grandfather. But coming back to me, Arnav always made me feel weak and helpless. It wasn't that he enjoyed tormenting me, no. It was that he was just impassive and indifferent. I was inconsequential to him. He was like a flowing river that doesn't care which fish are going with the current and which are fighting against it. But me, as the fish, felt that I was up against this force of nature that couldn't be reckoned with. I vowed to myself once that I'm going to make myself strong and face this monster someday. I knew that he had stopped growing and I was just beginning, so it was only a matter of time. But life works in strange and mysterious ways. In February of 2011, my grandfather passed away after suffering a lot of illness, blindness. And he didn't have a great relationship with the dog, with Arnav, because he was very busy building his business, growing it, nurturing it, so much so that he didn't have the time to do the same for Arnav. But even then, 1 week after my grandfather passed, Arnav died too. Life works in strange and mysterious ways, doesn't it? It's so strange. This dog that didn't have a great relationship with a man unwaveringly treated him as its master, so much so that they died together. The same dog hated me, made me its mortal enemy for whatever reason. But I was not given the opportunity to resolve my issues with him. He left me unresolved. I told you that I hadn't gone to Chennai for 7 years while I was in high school when I had grown up. Because I was busy identifying myself, discovering my identity, making myself stronger, making myself a man, coming out of that weaker position that I was always in against him. But he passed away, and I never resolved it. Animals are not pets or playthings. They are members of the family that have different relationships with everyone in the family. They are not its, they are he's and she's with feelings and emotions of their own. Why this relationship with this dog was so important to me, and why I am so particular about animals and families is a story for next time. For now, thank you for listening to part 2 of my story. I'll see you all next week for part 3, the final part. Thank you all.